All right, everybody, in today's video, we are going to go through how I find my price levels to day trade in areas of interest that I watch throughout the session as well as the week to see how the market reacts. And as you will notice, we are here in Thinkorswim. I like to chart and mark out all of my price levels in Thinkorswim, and then I, of course, execute all of my trades on Trade-Evate, obviously because I can't hook up any of the prop firms to Thinkorswim. So what I do is I always start with the daily candle, and to save us time, I'm going to go back to what I'm specifically watching within these price levels to just make this video a little bit shorter and straight to the point for you guys. So here we are in the daily chart. One thing that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to is this gap fill area right here around the 693 level, which is this area of clear resistance that we gapped up over. And we always know that the market wants to seek its value and balance. So that's why I would like to start with this. We know that we can play some sort of short and or bounce as we come into this price level. And then naturally, when we are looking here, we have not touched any sort of resistance or support through this candle. So this is one thing that I would like to watch as well and just have that sort of played out towards what I think would be a bounce area. So I would change the shading of this to green just to watch that for simplicity's sake. So now I would like to go into the 4 hour. And as we're looking at the 4 hour, how I'm going to approach trading these is just seeing if we have any other sort of differences. So what you'll notice on these candles is that I have, let me go back to the daily chart actually, and then I'll walk you through exactly what I was looking for on these. So you'll notice that I have the previous day's lows, close, open, and highs. And I like to keep all of this marked out here. Thinkorswim does this the best in my opinion. I know TradingView is great, but TradingView is a good secondary option or first if you like it. Definitely do not chart my levels within Trade-Evate just because of how the text shows up. But this area right here is extremely interesting to me on NQ, which was the 2-day open, but also it's the clear high of the market in terms of not being able to close above it. I know the high is up here, which we touched 371, but this area where the candle opens and closes right here is extremely interesting to me. So let's jump into the 5-minute chart because this is where we can start to look at taking some of our entries with. And you'll notice here that as we look towards the bottom, the prior day low acted as clear support, and then we did rally ourselves up. So as I'm looking at this, we have some sort of a support trend line that came into the prior day's close. So when the market opens up Sunday evening around 6 p.m. Eastern time, that is where I'm going to see how this trend line plays out. And if we start looking at some of these levels with the prior day open and highs, I am still convinced that we are going to expect to see some resistance with the prior day open, as well as, I know I messed this chart up. Give me one sec, guys. I think we are going to see some resistance here with the prior day open, as well as the prior day high. And that is because I think we're going to want to retest the liquidity that's sitting here around the 67 level, because as we approach the whole cycle level of 20,100, that is where we have a lot of runway in terms of seller pressure, perhaps unfilled seller orders going into that 2-day open, which was the high we were just looking at. So I think these are going to be the main areas of resistance that I am going to want to watch to see how this plays out. So in terms of support, where do we think support is likely to land? I think we are going to see support right down in here. Again, we'll change the color. So this is what I will watch. Again, I have no idea if these levels are going to hit, but I want to watch the order flow as these levels get hit just to see how the market reacts. So I think we are going to have a strong area of bounce up here. We already know buyers have been accepted within here. We push down. We're clearly having some ascending price action, which is why I think we're going to retest the 2100 whole cycle level. But that draws our attention to what we see right here. So we had a strong imbalance down. Buyers rejected it. But after the sellers pushed through this imbalance, it's safe to say that we have a lot of sellers who are hanging in this area right here. And then we have a clear move down up in this general area. So we know that we have a lot of liquidity here. at 22 across the board. And then this is the main area that I'm going to like to watch up here as we start. Let's say that this would then flip and turn into support. We would be watching how price action is reacting right here. Now, mind you, what I'm going to be watching for with a thesis with this week is that as the session opens up on Monday, especially in the pre-market as we roll through later in the morning, we have multiple resistance points right here. So I'll chart out this line as what I think resistance would be. So we have solid resistance right here, just below the prior day high. So I'm just going to put resistance here. This is what I'll watch for. And I want to change this to more of a solid line because what we're going to want to see is pricing to trade through this. Here's the plan. I'm going to draw this out with some lines, but we want to see pricing trade through this, hit the support, which we know is going to happen. So once the support hits, do we then test this area right here and turn this resistance into support? Because once this resistance comes into support, I think we are going to start that leg up to where we're going to test these levels here. So it's not going to be that clear cut. I don't have a crystal ball to know if that's going to happen, but these are the levels that I am going to watch and in my thesis with what may happen. That is if we don't completely blast through the prior day's low to fill the gap down here, because here's the gap just below 19,700. So what could happen? We then rip through the support zone, that prior day low, which is right here, and then we retest this low as support. So let's draw that out, because these are going to be the two scenarios. Scenario one is going to be coming up through the prior day's highs to test this resistance level, retrace, and then move back up to those all-time highs. Or my market sentiment has shifted bearish. So do we open up, come back through here, the prior day low, to retest, and then push ourselves down to fill this gap? And then does the gap bring us up to test this as resistance? So that is one thing that I would like to watch and see play out. So again, to recap my thesis for this week, do we come up, test this resistance zone to push higher through those previous day highs? Or since the market sentiment has shifted bearish, do we come down, retest that prior day close, and push through to fill the gap to the bottom? Those are going to be the interesting zones that I'm watching for this week. But mind you, anything can happen. We have no idea. And of course, I don't have a crystal ball. But that is how I chart my levels for areas of importance that I'm going to watch throughout this week. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If this was any help, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And then I'll see you guys in the next video.